Pandey Madam, education coach, content developer, and assessment expert. May I request her presence to be on the stage, please? Thank you. Dr. P. Ravi, former Regional Director, NIOS, National Institute of Open School. Sir, may we have you on the stage? Dr. N.V. Sharath Chandran, sir, Director, Doon Group of Schools, India. Ms. Gurupreet Kaur, Chief Manager, Education and Training, Shri Educare Limited. And Mr. V. Satish, Regional Director, NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling. The topic for discussion in this panel would be assessment and learning through technology integration. And the moderator would be Ms. Mansa Pandey. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Interesting subject, assessment and technology. Well, in my experience, both assessment and technology have been given a particularly stepmotherly treatment, especially in Indian schools. I've been eating, sleeping, drinking assessments for a long time, and most of the time, every time you go to a school to ask teachers, what do you think assessment is? And invariably, it is restricted to marks, tests, report cards, and a very, very restricted view of assessments. And as far as technology is concerned, I think most of us here belong to a generation which saw those black dial-up phones, and we moved on to smartphones. So for us, switching to technology with ease has not been a very, very comfortable process, I would say. So we are dealing with two areas today here. We are talking of assessments and we are talking of technology and how to bring them together. Welcome Dr. Ravi, Regional Director, NIOS, former Regional Director, Dr. Chandran, Director, Doon Group of Schools, Ms. Gurupreet Kaur, welcome, Shri Educare Limited Chief Manager, and Dr. Satish, Mr. Satish, Regional Director, NIOS, welcome. My first question goes to Dr. Ravi. NEP talks of 360-degree assessment. Could you just elaborate on what that means, and also what is the kind of role technology can play in order to bring about this 360-degree assessment? Okay.
Namaste everybody, and I thank SmartTail and CED Foundation and Bangalore Sagodaya Cluster for organizing this wonderful an event where the educators are all joining together on brainstorm on a very, very important, the point of the present day need, I should say, the technology, as well as now this panel discussion, we are discussing on the assessment part of it. Ma'am, you have asked a question. There are two things. One is that assessment itself, the word, it's not clear to many of the educationists. Probably we have been very conventional in thinking that, as you have already mentioned, that immediately when we talk about assessment means some examinations, we connect it with that. But the NEP 360-degree assessment has thrown a very big challenge in front of the educators. assessing the children on 360-degree angle. When you say that every dimension of the child's learning has to be, assessed. So before getting to that part of the question, I just wanted to connect this word assessment with the democracy. It's almost like, by the people, of the people, for the people. The assessment is for learning. Assessment, of the learning, and you also by the learning. Of, by, and for has got its relevance in our learning process. Basically, I just wanted to address or just emphasize the assessment. It should be used as an integral part of the learning process. If this is understood, I'm telling you, we will be able to really embrace the technology or use the technology in making this assessment 100% foolproof system. I must, support my experience with this, now presently I'm with the DAB group of schools in Chennai, and I'm very happy that SmartTile has, Mr. Swaminathan and team has introduced that in, DAB school. I'm personally experiencing with the teachers what has happened. All that, whatever we discussed, we have seen them. But the end result is phenomenal, I'm telling you. A teacher gone to the class, social science teacher, talked about Panchayat Raj, about for 20 minutes he talked. And she asked the question to the children, dear children, have you all followed? I think you all know that as a teacher, every child will say yes. I don't think any child will say no. And all these days they were taken to granted, and then we conducted the unit test or the PT 1 or 2, something like that. And finally we grade them children. These are all slow learners. They did not follow whatever is taught in the class. This is what conventionally we have been doing that. But in this introducing the deep grade, what we have done it, next day morning, before starting the next class, the teacher has given just a 2-minute test, asking them to write the advantages of Panchayat Raj. Just 4-5 line, bas itna zyada nahi. And just collected all those papers, given to the, the assistant who just scanned this machine. You have seen 40 pages in a minute. Quickly it is just scanned. And by the time the teacher completed the class and then come to the next, the report is ready. How many children have really answered to that question? And how many, have partially written? How many have written stories to fill the pages or the line? All this data has come. By the evening, the teacher goes. We didn't tell anything. Even principal did not interfere. Even I didn't ask them also. The next day, the teacher itself has come and addressing that, particularly that, before going further in that lesson, she just filled that gap. She understood why around 25 students out of 40 children did not write the crux of the main point of that Panchayat Raj. She understood that there was something wrong in my way of delivery. So I look at, it is not only assessment of the student, it is actually assessment of the teacher also. I look at, this is what the previous session we discussed, enabling, empowering, this is what's happening. It's enabled the teachers to understand, oh my God, with all my best ability, I tried my best to explain that, but out of that, only nearly 50% of the class is not understood. So it's a introspection on the part of the teacher. This is where I believe assessment is a must now. NEP is now coming out with telling you, emphasizing, no, it's not only one, the cognitive part of that is only you are going to assess every dimension, including the personality of the child has to be assessed. So you have to design that assessment tool. This 360 degree when we talk about, the designing the assessment tool is a must. I think I must pose this question challenge to SmartTile people. Kindly work on this. This NEP 360 degree assessment is not going to be easy. Even if suppose you want to say that the child's communication skill has to be assessed. Probably a 5 minutes video has to be given to the SmartTile. You run it, then it will dissect the whole thing and tell these are all the problems of the communication the child has done it. Now it becomes so easy for you. And again, another request I am keeping in front of SmartAid, recruiting the teachers is becoming a very, very difficult. We find it difficult to assess. I am in the many interview panel. I am not able to, just to let X or Y anywhere in the world. Let them record that and then send it. Now, that video when you write, you will fix all the parameters. That will give the complete data. This is another assessment. So I am just looking at this assessment in holistically, not the student alone, the teacher and everybody is coming to that. Definitely, madam. And it's a challenge ahead, in front of the entire education society. We need to seriously work on this assessment part of it. And we should clearly understand and differentiate between evaluation and assessment. That's what thank you. I hope I.
Yes.
Thank
You, Dr. Ravi. I love the way you've linked democracy to assessment of learning, for learning, as learning. Extremely important for us to understand the purpose of each kind of assessment and the context that it can be used in. My next question goes to Dr. Chandran. What are the challenges schools are facing due to rapidly changing technology? Technology is transforming the education scenario on a daily basis, I think. So what do you think are the key challenges that the schools are facing today, and what could be the possible solutions? I know that the solutions would be different for tier 1 city, and for tier 2 city it would be different. And so could you just elaborate on the kind of challenges and possible solutions that principals can sort out?
Okay, anyway, given 5 minutes, it's a very tough question. So what I will do is, I will start with the topic today, what has been put in. All speakers, I think, have misunderstood the topic of today. Managing technology, then business and innovation. I read it as managing technology, business and innovation. No, it should be really like that thing. You tell me one thing, if we people do not give business to Swami, where he will go and innovate? How he will innovate? You are telling that, don't stop it there. Don't become complacent. You should research more. You should give us more products. You should always improve. How he will improve? So it should be managing technology and innovation. So yet technology business has to assist, because if we all have to use technology, we tell that technology will make us will work faster, we will reduce our workload, the way of working, everything, it will make easy for student, easy for teaching, easy for learning, but then that should be allowed. First thing. So since she has asked this question, challenges. 2000 is the year in which I converted from a technocrat to an educationist, by accident, to be very honest. So I had to show, because I was a technocrat, I was an engineer, so I had to show some difference, what I bring. I started searching, and in those days, smart class was a very big innovation. I'll put it rather, computerized learning and teaching. So I didn't think about second, called the company, I will not name it because I am not advertising for them. So earlier I had done it, of course. Set up all the classes. So I used to have a habit of at least taking 4 or 5 rounds in the school, because I was new. I was trying to learn myself what these things work. I found every teacher's face swollen. Earlier, whenever I used to walk, they will say, "Good morning, sir," with a lot of pleasant. I don't find it. I was thinking, what happened? I had not done anything wrong. I went back to my room. I called the headmistress and principal. I told, what is wrong in our school? Told that they were also very hesitating to tell me. I saw all the faces of teachers swollen. Nobody is even smiling at me. I had not done anything wrong as far as I know. Please tell me. They tell, "Sir, the rumor going on is you are going to replace all these teachers with the computers in the classroom." So, believe it, At that time, I had around 130 teachers. It took 1 week orientation to make them understand this is just a tool we are giving it to you to make your life easy. And you will reduce your workload, you will be able to teach better, and our kids will be able to understand much better. I told them. The second part was, I had an assessment even with kids. We are given the demo, told that you would like to study using this thing or the chalk and talk method. Everybody told, no, sir, computer. Okay, fine. Second time, 2004, digital library, the same thing with the librarian. Librarian was looking, such a look to me. I told, no. You know that the other thing is settled, everybody is pretty happy, you will also be happy with that thing. So, these are the minor things which I am coming. Now, first time Swami gave the demo, one incident came to my mind. That was exactly in 2004. In those days, there was no deep grade, there was no technology as assessment like this, nothing of that sort. To cut down the bias towards students, we had parallel teachers. So they will give the answer set. I made a system in which, though it is checked by a teacher, not to disbelieve, so that we can cut down the errors. The parallel teacher will also have a second look. Same way, the other teacher will have a look at the second teachers. So teachers have got a habit. They want to show that we are very smart. We have found out the other teacher is not so good because So she brought the paper and told, sir, look at this thing. Lot of manipulation. So I just went through the paper. I found in a particular child's answer sheet, child has given a wrong answer. The teacher has corrected with her own pen, and that also foolishness, with her own handwriting, and given full marks. So I called the teacher. What's the reason? The teacher told, sir, that boy is a very brilliant boy. So I asked, so what? No, I think he should be given away full marks for that thing because in all other aspects he is excellent. In this thing he has just made a mistake. So I told her, in those days Sachin Tendulkar is an excellent batsman. Every time he goes for a match, will he get 100 runs? Will they award, even if he scores 20 runs, he will be awarded a century? She told, no, then don't do it here also. So then I thought, Swami's product, that bias is taken out. This is something which one of the aspects which I really liked in deep grade is, that, we are all human beings. There is a bias. You cannot deny that thing. However you tell that, we are balanced, we are do like this, there is a bias. There was a minister who was telling, hey, what is nepotism? If I give it to my people, transfer at a place which they like, what you call it? So it's always with the human beings, with the others also. So that is one. Now, how it is really helping me is, we have recently launched a product, which is, actually, Sharma sir was talking about training, the IIT and NEET coaching. But let me tell you, it's the need of the day till the time a new policy comes. I know it's practical, we should be practical, not theoretical. So it's a need of the day. So what we have done is, we have brought in a scheme which nobody can think. We are giving this course through Government of India body, CSC, at 499 rupees plus GST per month. Because if you go to the so-called, even at Dabba Institute, they will not charge anything less than 1 lakh rupees. Here we are giving it with top quality teaching. We are giving live classes, since I describe, you will understand. Live classes, backup classes, doubt clearing session, proctored test and assessment, and the assessment for each kid, what ma'am was talking about, the child is of lower level, lower question is given. If they going advanced, better assignments are given to them. So I was talking in Chhattisgarh, just like, a group of principals. They told, sir, how you kept this price so low? I told, no. It is because of two reasons. One, thanks to technology. thanks to technology. Second is, of course, I am getting a huge number because of Government of India. Now I come to the technology part of it. First week we started this program, we had almost 10,000 students join the program. And you know the number of questions which has been bombarded with? We have been bombarded with 67,329 questions. Now, is it possible, humanly possible, just to give answers to these things? We just use artificial intelligence for that thing. The questions are mapped. Ultimately, it came to 29 questions only from those particular chapters. This is the advantage of it. This is what I am telling. Yes, application of technology, how it is going to help even in assessments we are talking about. And now we are able to give assessment of each child out of these, almost 10,000 kids who have joined. We are ready with that. Each subject, how they are performing. The child can watch it, the parent can watch it, even teachers, institute, anybody who is concerned can watch it and do accordingly. So this is how, if I start talking about application of this technology, I'll take a day for that thing. But I tell that, we have to use it as everybody was talking, all the panelists. Actually, it is our slave. We should make it work, the way we want. And certain times I see that, we get slaves to technology. That's totally wrong. I'll finish it with just one more example. Few years back, around 10 years back, one company approached. They told that, sir, you are having all these smart classes. Now we have got a new system. I told, what is the system? Told that, teacher can face the students itself and run the class. The addition was, there was a screen in front with the teacher can use it. So I told, what is the advantage of it compared to the things what we are having? Sir, nobody will see the back of the teacher. So I told, then price wise, it is 3 times. So I told, sorry, thank you, I don't need it. Because that doesn't work. You don't require that thing. So while applying technology, you should be very judicious. Just for the sake of technology, don't take technology. You should use the appropriate and judicious technology and use it. Train your teachers, orient them, make them realize that, this is a tool we are giving in their hand to help them to teach better, making students learn better, and we will have a much better things, come. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chandran. Well said. Technology really can help impart differentiated instruction. One teacher, 40 students, 50 students. Humanly impossible to assess, to do 360-degree assessment like we are expecting. And technology here can step up in a big way to aid the teacher in doing these kind of assessments. Also, like Dr. Chandran said, that, and this can be scaled up multiple times. We are not talking here, there's absolutely no question about it, that technology can replace a human being in a classroom or anywhere else. But we are talking about shifting the Ghada Majuri work to the machines and doing more complicated, higher, elevated, creative stuff, which actually the human beings are made for. In fact, what I would say is that technology really frees you from doing regular, routine, boring work and gives you time to do much more creative stuff, much more innovative stuff. We move on to you, ma'am. What do you think is the role of technology in shifting the focus from a summative assessment to formative assessment, from assessment of learning to assessment for learning?
Thank you for the question, and I think I would like to start with not only the role of technology, but also the role of educators. So everyone knows that and I think you must have read this quote, that great teachers expect great things from their students. But excellent teachers expect greatest things from themselves. So that is where I think since morning we have been talking about this, that the role of the educator becomes very, very important. Secondary is your technology, which is a tool. We have been saying that, hearing it since morning by all our esteemed guests and all our previous panelists as well. And I want to take two things here. One is assessment of learning, as ma'am mentioned, summative assessments. Why do we need to shift the focus? The first thing is we have to be convinced about that. That why do I need to shift the focus? In the previous panel discussion, ma'am mentioned that competency-based education is very, very important. We need to shift our focus to that. Skill-based evaluation is very, very important. NEP talks about it in a big way, right? We are talking about shifting our focus to computational thinking. Again, previous panelist, I'm drawing it from there. What are all these things? Have we ever talked about them in the past few years? Let's go back a little in time and let's see our own Gurukul system. What did the Gurukul system talk about? Competency-based, skill-based. It talked about formative assessment. Your each and every action was to be evaluated. And not only from the student's perspective, also from the teacher's perspective. As sir just now mentioned, that the teacher also has to self-introspect. Am I doing the right thing? Am I teaching the right way? Am I using the technology in the right way? What is my wise use of technology is something I am a big professor of. Let's not use technology just for the sake of using it. If technology would have done wonders, I think America would have already had their share of education boom. But what happened? I don't know how many of you know this, but America is facing a major challenge where students do not want to come to the schools. So if technology could play the role, then they have ample modes of technology. But that's not what is important. The importance is how the educators are going to use it, how the educators are going to mold it. And that's where companies like SmartTail come up. I liked what Swami said, that please support Indians. And I was surprised, let me not name the official, but CBSE says that, we are looking for philanthropic work. So that is why we are going to give Google, Microsoft, and all these people big chances of developing the content. Tell me one thing, how many educators are a part of Google? How many educators are a part of Microsoft who are developing the content? Can I have some show of hands if you believe in that? Professor C.V. Sharma since morning has been saying that role of educators, role of principals, role of leaders is very, very important. I'm totally in sync with that idea, sir. And that is why I feel if CBSE is not giving us chance, we are going to take that step ourselves. What is there to lose? What is there to lose for me? As sir said, I am a mere educator. I have nothing to lose. I have my share of students. I have my share of glory. I have my share of advancements just by seeing my students rise up. And that's what gives me pleasure. I'm not here for glory. I'm not here for any awards. I'm just here for making a change. And that's the transformation that we have. So assessment of learning means that you are actually checking the rote learning of the student. Do we really need to do that? We need to give them that power where they can decide what do they want to learn, how do they want to learn it, and why do they want to learn it. And that's shift the focus to assessment for learning. Let them be the deciding factors and decide their path. I liked what ma'am said, 3 Ps, right? So let them decide what path they want to take and where they want to reach at the pace that they want, not by forcing it down their throats. There can be some gifted students. They may need some special attention. Give it to them. Use technology as an enabler to give that time to those special needs kids who need it more. The brighter ones will anyway manage. They just need a pat in the back that yes, you can do it. So I just want to sum up with, I think Benjamin had said this, Benjamin, that whatever you forget after you have left school, whatever you forget after you left school is your knowledge. So let's keep that knowledge intact and let's move on from assessment of learning to assessment for learning. Thank you so much.
Well said, ma'am. So, I know, and all the reforms have been to make assessment for learning, AFL, formative assessment, multiple names, they have been in this direction. The only thing is, do we truly understand what is formative assessment? That is the question that we will not dwell upon too much right now. Mr. Satish, we are talking of integration of technology. So what, in your opinion, is how can we bring this into our schools to make learning and assessment robust? In what ways can we bring technology into our schools? Because when technology is disruptive, and teachers are an overburdened lot. I don't think there can be any debate on that. So and when we get something new into the classrooms, into the school, it is an added thing to be done. So how do you see this scenario unfolding?
Good afternoon, everyone. And I represent the National Institute of Open Schooling. Before I could speak about the topic, that the questions that are being posed before me, I would like to introduce National Institute of Open Schooling to all of you. I feel privileged to introduce that program. It's part of the Government of India. We are part of the Ministry of Education. I think most of you may be aware or may not be. We are part of the Ministry of Education. We are one of the largest open school system in the world. We are a non-formal mode of system of education that is present there. From the morning, I also acknowledge former chairperson here. I feel honored to speak about NIVS before him, because so much of that has happened over in NIVS for the past few years since I'm there in NIVS. We have seen it with sir here, Professor C.B. Sharma. And I feel privileged to talk in front of him. We have been a unique board. The whole through the day, the discussions had been focusing about the child being at the center of the education and the teacher being most important person there. And we have also been talking about touching every life that is present there, and who can touch the child. The teacher can only be the change maker, or teacher can only be the only person who can touch the life of a child. Most of the times what happens is that the children, when they don't perform so well as is being expected by the teacher or by the system, they're kind of, being grouped into a different non-performing group, or, whatever names that you call it. And if that is the situation that is going to come, I always, want all of you to be aware, and please explore the option of having an open school system in each of your schools. As this forum talks about integrating technology into your education, my personal submission would be, before talking about integrating technology into it, please integrate an open school system into your school education platform, where let that also not being looked at as a separate platform meant only for certain people, which also is equally potential to cater to students who are very, very unique in your own schools. They may not be performing so high in their school educations in terms of the marks or in terms of the grades, but they are certainly special, they're unique, and they are very, very high performance in other way. So I request that you integrate open school system in your schools, and then think about how the open school system can work with. Because you're going to deal with children who are diverse in nature, who are very good in sport, who are very good in music, who are very good in art, who are very good in painting, who are good in a lot of other stuff. I do not know if the present school system would be able to cater to the needs of that particular child. If you think of giving them a very legal, rightful alternative method of a learning or an education, please think about an open school system. I strongly believe, I come from I also been an educationist, been teaching students. I always believe in learning than on teaching. So if your focus is going to be on, the child centering and child learning than passing a particular class or a standard, so please look at the open school system. If you want to have the gist of what the open school system is, please go back to the National Education Policy. Whatever the National Education Policy talks about is about the open school system, where the whole features of the open school system kind of is being copied and pasted into the National Education Policy of having the mother tongue being given importance in the education. Child is being at the center of the education. The child has a choice to make as to what subjects they want to study, how they want to study, when they want to study. And the child has the complete freedom of a combination of his subjects. What we have been giving now, a child who is with physics can also take a music. The child with chemistry can take sociology if they want. So this wide variety of combinations that the National Education Policy is being talking about is already existing about with the NIOS. So if you want to learn about NIOS, please go through the NEP. You'll learn more about NIOS there. And for further details, we're available there. Our offices at the Malleshwaram PU board. We have a regional center here at the Bangalore regional office. So please feel free to connect and contact with us so that we can work and work together to the benefit of the child who's there at your school. Talking about integrating of technology, to me, technology is a boon. As already been cautionary statements are already being made that we should not become slaves to the technology. Technology is a boon that we need to be very, very careful, and we need to know how to use the technology to maximize our efforts and to maximize our outputs. Open school system being a system of an ODL largely depends upon the technology and its use. We've been able to, a couple of years back under our leadership of our chairman, Professor Sharma sir, we completed the DLED project, which is completely an online program that we did. This is basically an elementary education teachers training program that we did. We had about 13 odd lakh of teachers across the country being purely trained and taken through with the use of a technology. When I say that it is being taken through a technology, it has never replaced a teacher. The teachers had been a part of it, but then to a greater extent, the technology been used to it. So that is another witness that we have in using of a technology. Presently, from the NIOS perspective, we have used lots of technologies into it. The whole of our administrative work, starting from application of a student, filling it online, all the administrative admission record corrections and all the result declarations, all that process is completely online, where the child need not go to any particular institution or a school or wherever to get themselves registered or to get themselves registered for examinations or to know about their results, or in case if there are any services that they want to use with the NIOS.